All right, Vlad. Our last time we met, it was our face reveals, and that went very well. And here we are again, round two. It's good to have you back on the platform, back on screen with us here, Vlad.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for having me. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
Of course. I know you guys are talking about moving this to cars. Tell us a little bit more about your deal with Mercedes.
Yeah, yeah. So we just showed it at Gamescom in Cologne in August. We showed the product running in S class, right? And uh, people could get inside the car and play. We had a bunch of games there: Fortnite, Starfield, Rocket League, uh, and some others, so people could get the real experience, of how it works in the car, and that was a great success, and everybody was going crazy. Not only the actual visitors, like gamers, but also the competitors. And believe me, when I got to the booth on day one, even before I was able to speak to the team from Mercedes, I was caught by some other automotive OEMs. And they were like, "Well, what are you doing with Mercedes? It's AAA. No way. I can't believe
Yeah.
that." So that was the reception was much better than both us and Mercedes actually expected.
What did people think from sitting in the cars themselves and being able to play the games? Like, what was that experience like?
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, everything was seamless, and people were really impressed that you can run uh, Fortnite and other AAA titles directly in your car, right? You can use a gamepad. I mean, that's sort of a very huge wow effect, right? You can just get into the car and play Fortnite, and we had many people of all ages, really enjoying that, and we had the gameplay streamed to the big screen near the car, so there was like, I don't know, 100 people watching the stream, and yeah, there was always a line. I was able to test it myself only,
Nice.
in the evening when everything was closing already and all people were gone, and that's when I was able to get there because there were like the line of dozens of people all the time.
Oh no, yeah, and actually, you mentioned there being a gamepad. Is this like a special one made by Mercedes, or is this maybe an Xbox controller? What was it?
Yeah, we had, I guess we had two controllers, Xbox and PS4.
Oh wow,
So you can use
okay.
those, right? Right. We are talking with Mercedes and one very well-known gaming brand on some custom gamepads that we will manufacture together specifically for Mercedes, and potentially in the future, maybe.
There it is.
All right. Yeah. So people sitting and playing Fortnite.
So how did you guys like kind of dialing back? How did you guys kind of get to this point of getting into this partnership and the idea of putting video games in cars?
Oh, well, for us, a car is just not a platform, like a TV, like a desktop, right?
Hmm.
And we've been thinking about that for quite a while. And then at some point, we just decided to reach out to automotive companies and see what they're up to. And surprisingly, we found a few automotive OEMs that are really sophisticated in terms of gaming strategy. And Mercedes is probably uh, the most sophisticated because they have the esports team, the esports partnerships. They have a really great gaming strategy, and I was actually surprised to see that from like one of the oldest brands on the market, right? But probably like this really huge legacy of innovation is what Mercedes can utilize to bring it even further, to push all the in-car software, uh, entertainment, autonomous driving, and so on, to push it to really next level.
Absolutely. And I see in the video right there was an E class. Do you know all the models that will kind of feature this system?
Yeah, we will have it running across all car lines
Oh, wow.
that are equipped with the third generation infotainment system that you see here right now. So this this will be S-Class for sure. This will be GLS, EQS, electric vehicles, vans, and pretty much all car lines that Mercedes has, and that are equipped with the latest generation infotainment system.
That's cool. You actually said one car actually I was really interested in was vans, because
Right.
one thing we were really surprised when we were looking this over was that you play the game in the front or passenger seat. And so
Right.
we were wondering, because there's other car companies that have screens they put in their vans in the back. So we were thinking this would be perfect for kids. So is that a plan as well, to
Sure.
have these screens in the back of these vans so kids can play?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we will have this. I mean, not all Mercedes cars they have rear seat screens, but the S-Class, GLS, EQS, they have vans. They have too, and we'll definitely launch it there as well. It needs some additional development, so I'm not sure it's going to be available right away when we launch on the front seat screen. But anyway, we plan to go live with this sometime in 2025, maybe together with the overall product launch, or maybe a little bit later.
Okay, so yeah, of course, it's in the infancy, so things will be step by step. I was going to say, do you have any kind of specs on the infotainment system itself, on like the screen, what resolution people will be playing in, things like that?
Yeah, we have in terms of the screens, we have like 9 or 10 different screens inside different cars, and we optimized the Android client, because we have Android APK running inside Mercedes, pretty much the same that you have on your phone, but optimized for the car. And so we have roughly 10 different resolutions that we optimize it for, including the front display, the co-driver's display, the rear seat displays, and also all that kind of things. And the specs, like in terms of the hardware, there is not much I can tell you, but I mean, it's powerful enough, and it is basically excessive in terms of what we need, because with cloud gaming, with Boosteroid, the end customer device is just the screen, right, that shows the video of the gameplay that is running on a server. And like, how do we call our servers? This is the computer with a CPU, with a GPU, with a memory, just like the one you have at home, right? But it has no screen, and it is deployed in the data center. So we just use your device, your laptop, your TV, your smartphone, your car as the screen, because our computer in the data center, our server, has no screen. And like, so for us, as long as the in-car device is capable of running YouTube, it's fine for us.
Oh, wow.
So of course, this in-car computer is a quite high-end, and I mean, for us, it's even more than we need.
Oh, so I was gonna say, as far as connectivity, I know when you guys were at Gamescom, they had, connectivity through Wi-Fi within the place itself. But now when people are actually driving, because if I'm not mistaken, you can only play while you're parked, correct?
For now. But
good.
let me tell you,
Yeah, we were wondering about that.
Now.
I mean, we're definitely very close to the reality where you can play while driving, and some OEMs, they already support, and some companies we talk to, some automotive companies, they already support gaming on the co-driver's display, or on the passenger display when the car is moving. So Mercedes, of course, is getting there too. And if you follow like autonomous driving stuff and so on, Mercedes has just recently received a certification for the US, so they can drive, I think, under 60 miles per hour. They can drive autonomously, and so they are very, very advanced in that. And of course, it's the matter, depending on the jurisdiction, it's the matter of the regulations, it's the matter of technical implementation, but we're definitely getting there. And as we launch in super early 2025. This will only cover the use cases when the car is charging, when you're waiting for somebody,
Right.
when you're standing. But very soon, this will also enable you to play while moving.
Right. Yeah. And when we were actually talking about this, we were wondering that because we were saying like, it's a great convenience, when you're waiting for your car to charge or if you're parked and you're, like you said, you're waiting for somebody. But of course, it's like, the ability then if, the passenger is on the side or the kids are in the back, they'll be able to play these games. Now, one thing we want to know too is from when I was researching that Mercedes Me Connect is their software they use in order to get connectivity. Now, is that a built-in Wi-Fi connection or is that using mobile data?
There are both options. So you can use the inbuilt Wi-Fi module in the car, and you can also use your connectivity depending what performs better. So connectivity is indeed a very big part of what we're doing for in-car gaming because, as you can imagine, connectivity, especially in Europe and in the US, it's a challenge, right? When the car is standing, it's typically standing somewhere in a parking lot, right, near the grocery store or on the charging station. So there are lots of different Wi-Fi's that interfere with the signal and stuff like that. So the networking environment is harsh, and we need to make sure everything runs smoothly. And when the car is moving, it's a different story, but you get connected to different hotspots all the time and so on. So it's also challenging. I can tell you this issue is really fixed in Asia, in the countries like China, South Korea. But in Europe, we still need to get there, and in the US as well. But anyway, we do our best to make sure connectivity is not a pain for our customers. And in terms of how people get that connectivity, Mercedes offers different solutions in different regions, and like 5G is available on all models starting with the C class. And yeah, and
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, so sometimes you need to pay extra fee to have the data package as a part of your services. Sometimes it's kind of free for some initial period of time, and sometimes it's bundled with the vehicle's price, so it's for free for the end customer, depending on the jurisdiction. Because in some countries, and not to dive deep into the legal stuff, but in some countries, car manufacturers are not allowed to be telcos unless they are certified to be able to offer telecom services. And unless you're a telco, you don't want to do that because that's complicated, that's expensive, and you don't really need that. If you're a car manufacturer, you only need some connectivity in your car, and that's it. And to go through the whole process of acquiring the license to be a telco doesn't really make sense for the automotive company. So that's why the approach is different in different regions, depending on what's allowed, what's not, and what works best in a specific country or area.
No, that makes sense. And actually, one point I want to bring out too was when you're actually talking about the 5G connectivity. That's just what perked up my ears, because when I was doing research, I was seeing different things about 3G connectivity, 4G, LTE, and so to hear that 5G is going to be available, that's big, because one thing that we know with cloud gaming is that bandwidth is a big deal. And so one thing we were wondering was like, with people in the car, everybody wants to use the internet while they're driving, if it's available. So, and we know
it's long term,
right.
long ranges.
So with this being AAA games and how demanding they can be, are we looking at, as of right now, just where we are, is it only that one person could actually use the internet in order to play, or could everybody in the car maybe not necessarily game at the same time, or if that is possible, but be able to really effectively use the internet in order to play?
Yeah, it depends on the data package, and so it, like, generally that's possible. And the use case that the passenger on the front seat is watching a movie, and on the rear seat people are playing games. Right. That's the real use case. And I can't tell you the details of how much bandwidth you get now with connectivity offered inside Mercedes, but you have your mobile connectivity that you can use. And in terms of the connectivity embedded inside the car, it's really different depending on the data package, depending on the region. But generally, yeah, it's definitely possible for multiple passengers to use multiple things that consume bandwidth. And of course, you know, it's important for us because depending on the car, Mercedes has different and quite a lot of devices inside, right? And the all the screens that you have, they can operate as a separate device. So ideally, what we need is that on the back seat you have two people playing two different games, and on the front seat you have another person playing a game, and then you have a driver's display, and the car is driving autonomously, and the driver is also playing the game. So that's kind of where how we envision that, right? Also from the networking point of view.
Oh yeah, and like you said, definitely that would be most ideal. And kind of as we're winning these things, one thing we're even wondering too, as far as specs, was actually like how the controllers themselves are paired. Like, is there going to be able to be like multiple controllers? Can people connect like their phone? Like, one thing we know with Boosteroid is that you have a gamepad that can be used mobily. So would we be seeing kind of the connectivity with that as well, where you can use your phone or use the controller, things like that?
Yeah, and the use of the controller, the Boosteroid Gamepad app that transforms your smartphone into the controller, is a very big use case, because you can expect not a lot of people to have gamepads inside their cars right away, right? And so for us, it's important to optimize this Boosteroid Gamepad app, because we know that it is not possible to substitute the physical controller with this virtual one. So we do our best to make it responsive, to make it easy to use, easy to pair with the server. But of course, we improve this all the time, and it has to be improved even more, and we're working on that. And of course, I mean, it's great that Mercedes has the support of actual gamepads, physical controllers. And if you look at other automotive companies, I don't know, maybe there are some that support that, but most of them, they don't. So the only option to play a game, including like through Boosteroid, would be to use the Boosteroid Gamepad app, to use the smartphone as the controller. So as much as we don't really like this use case, because we, I can't say we hate this app, but especially those who are gamers on our team, they say like,
it's not the most ideal.
That's a good app, but we can't really use it. And
yeah,
so
it's not the most ideal.
That's the only solution we have. And it's been very useful, especially on the TVs. And I don't know, maybe we'll talk about that later, but in-car gaming is super similar to TVs in terms of how it evolves, at what stage it is right now. And I have really great flashbacks now when I'm into in-car gaming and managing all this stuff. I have flashbacks to like 5 years ago, what was happening with the TVs. But coming back to the controllers, so this Boosteroid Gamepad app really helped us on TVs because people discovered Boosteroid and they have no gamepad to try it out. So they're like, okay, I see I can play Fortnite, I see I can play Call of Duty, but I can't do that. And by the time that you have like time to go to the store, buy the gamepad and come back, the conversion rates were affected, very significantly. And the Boosteroid Gamepad app really helped us with that, because people tried it. At least they could launch a gaming session. They could, if they're playing some titles like Forza, they can actually control the gameplay quite well. If they want to play Call of Duty, of course, this mobile gamepad won't work properly, and you will not be able to control the gaming session. But overall, this is a very useful thing. And for the in-car gaming, it becomes even more important. And we are doing our best to make it even better.
No, yeah, and like you were saying, the gamepad app was super convenient. I remember even when we were first using it, we utilized it as well. And as you said, you're right. It depended on what game you were playing. Like,
Right.
games that didn't require maybe the back bumpers or the the side bumpers and things like that, really a lot, it was a lot better. But even one thing we were wondering, are there kind of plans right now to maybe update that gamepad for maybe situation like this? Just like you're saying, since people don't immediately have that gamepad, are there any plans in place to maybe update the actual layout of that controller to make it more?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're working on that right now, and we will introduce several updates very soon. We have no some fixed time for that, so I can say when the updated version will be released, but we're working on that, not only for in-car gaming, but also for other use cases like TVs. So it's going to be better than it is.
Yeah, and that's really exciting. And yeah, I think with a lot of people, it's less of the exact date, and just knowing that it's coming. Because even a lot of this, even what we're talking about now, is just coming with time. Better infrastructure, better software, and as you said, you guys are bringing new things soon. Even one thing I want to ask was actually how the game can be heard in a car. Do you need to connect with headphones? Is it kind of put out through the whole entire car itself? How does the audio work?
Yeah, audio is a big part of the in-car gaming strategy, because it is, especially in the vehicles like Mercedes, it's very, very good. And it's spatial, and the sound is really amazing. You have, I think Harman is doing the sound for Mercedes and for many other car OEMs.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the sound is really great, and it's part of what we call an immersive in-car gaming, which is for Mercedes one of the most important things about their in-car gaming strategy. So they advocate for in-car gaming, and they say that it's for the first time ever, your car can be like a simulator, because it's the totally immersive gaming experience. Sound is a part of that. On top of the sound, you have RGB lighting, you have seat vibrations and all that kind of stuff, which we're working on right now with Mercedes and with I guess I can say the world's best company when it comes to in-game software like RGB lighting and stuff like that. So the three of us, we're trying to make it a reality very soon, immersive in-car gaming, and that's a big advantage that you can't get, or at least it's difficult to get it at home, right, on the PC or on the TV. Here in the car, you sit into it, and you're totally immersed into gaming. So sound, yeah, you can connect the Bluetooth headset, and the use case where you play and another person driving in the car is listening to the music, or the other way around, that's the real use case. So you can use the headphones, but yeah, you can also use the audio available in the car, and that would be awesome, especially in the cars like Mercedes.
No, absolutely. That's actually really exciting, because actually moving away from specific specs, one thing that we were talking about, which I thought would be a really cool idea, was especially with the popularity of racing, like F1, Star Cars, rally racing, things like that. That at these are huge events. There's different car companies or things like that. Is there a possibility where you could have more of these immersive experiences where a person could play F1 and actually feel what it's like to be in a car while playing inside of that car seat with their controller and things like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very big part of the strategy. And Mercedes, we learn a lot from Mercedes, even though we are a gaming company. And they have this vision of the immersive in-car gaming, and that's really what differentiates Mercedes from many other OEMs that offer casual games. And I mean, we don't really want to say everything that we think about that out loud, but gaming is gaming, and there is some part of the audience that may be interested in mini games and casual games. And of course, we don't expect everybody sitting inside the car to be a gamer, to have a Steam account, Epic account, and so on. So that's understandable. But we still, bet on AAA experience, because gamers are gamers, right? And you're not really doing this, at least today, you're not doing this for the driver. You're doing this for the driver's kid, right? Or you're doing this for young people who play games. I'm not trying to tell you that only young people play games. Of course, that's not true. But let's say the immediate customer base is there, and you don't need to think about the person sitting inside the car. And I on purpose, I avoid the word like driver or car owner, because some advocates of casual gaming and mini games inside the car, they only focus on the car owner, but car owner is not the only person sitting inside the car. So all these people, we should think of them as as gamers, and we don't need to discriminate people inside the car. Like, it's not possible that they are gamers. It's not possible that they have gaming accounts. They're definitely from another planet. They have never played anything. So our attitude is different. Mercedes' attitude is different. We respect and understand that not everybody is a gamer, and a simple mini game might be much better for a part of the customer base than Fortnite or Forza or like Need for Speed. But at the same time, we bet on AAA. We bet on really advanced immersive experience, controllers, integrations of everything you have inside the vehicle, lighting, seat, everything, integration with the game, so that the experience is really unique, exciting, and it's for the first time in history. I mean, Boosteroid, it's not the first time we're doing something for the first time in history, but this is really special, and nobody has ever used cloud gaming, at least to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody has used cloud gaming to play AAA titles inside the vehicle. And this is going to be really big. And one other important point is that you need to think strategically. And we have the new generation of consumers becoming older, and this generation of consumers, for the first time ever, they have gaming as their top priority entertainment content. So it's not books, it's not movies, it's not music. I don't say that all of them are gamers. Probably some of them are not playing at all, because as they grow older, they, I don't know,
responsibilities,
studying, families, work, don't have time for that. Been there, So I'm not saying all of them are gamers, but still, gaming is kind of what they will respond the best, right? Mm-hmm. So when you offer them something related to gaming, they will respond very well to that. And we have the whole generation of that people. Like, you may, I don't know, you may call them Gen Alpha or whatever, but these are people who are gamers at their core, and soon 90%, and after some time 100% of people who buy cars and drive cars will be these people who respond to gaming related offerings in the best way possible. And strategically, you need to understand that after some time, in the medium term, and of course in the long term, 100% of people sitting inside the car will be gamers. Some of them may still be playing, some of them may have stopped playing because of the circumstances and so on, but all of them will be gamers. And this is really important to understand, and to kind of realize that you're doing this for the people that will respond to that very well. Because in-car gaming, and like some people, some experts, And some OEM companies, they think that this is an excessive feature. Nobody actually needs that, and so on. Now it's a little bit different, but like 1 year ago, that was the case. And many companies, many people, they were like, well, you don't really need that in the car. Just make good cars that drive fast and they are reliable and so on. But, of course, this is bullshit, because you have lots of digital stuff in the car, starting from navigation and, the driving assist and all other things. I'm not saying like gaming is as important today as navigation. Navigation is probably more important, but for the in-car entertainment part, this is the future, and we are creating this market right now. I can't say that the market is super mature. Again, very similar to TVs 5 years ago. I remember people telling me, what the fuck are you doing? Nobody will play games on the TV. You have latency. You have, that's bullshit. I mean, we know you have some money. Probably that's why you do that, but nobody will actually use it. And then here we are.
And here we are. This is exactly what we started out the channel as. Is we said that it was going to come to the TV with no apps. I mean, with no. You don't need anything connected to it. Right. You just start an app, and that's how you get your game. And here we are.
Yeah, and like, okay, you don't believe me? I'm from Boosteroid. Look at Microsoft. They're a console gaming company. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yet they invest a lot into the cloud gaming on TVs, which is a console killing stuff, right? Yeah. So they are on LG like us. They are on Samsung like us. They are on Fire TV now. So it's clear for everyone that this is the future, not the consoles. Not saying consoles will die next year or 3 years from now, but anyway, the market is moving towards cloud in all possible forms. And soon, I mean, that's a totally different topic, but soon we will see mobile games, moving towards cloud as well. But coming back to the PC games, they are already there, and the adoption is quite massive. We can tell you that. We've deployed many thousands of servers, and most of them are full already, even though it's been like 2 months. So the demand is there, the customer base is there, and we're just happy to be able to do that exciting things, like in-car gaming. I mean, I like within Boosteroid, I work as the project manager, product owner, and like I go very, very deep down. I communicate with Mercedes teams, and I kind of execute this part of our business just because it's so exciting, that I want to do it like myself with my own hands, and I understand how important this is strategically, and it's just a good thing to do. We were as much excited with cloud gaming on TVs 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and now we're really excited with in-car gaming.